are back. Hello and welcome everybody. I'm Rich Slayton, and where the heck is my cam? Let's bring that back up. Okay, don't know what happened to my camera here. I'm supposed to be on screen right now, but for some reason my camera is not picking me up, so there you go. And what in the world is happening right now? Well, no clue why none of this feed is coming up to you guys. Literally just tested all of this 2 minutes ago. There you go. Here's the schedule. Here's everything. Not sure why my camera isn't working. But hi, I'm Rich Slayton. Welcome to NTWorlds, Germany versus Italy. You already saw Portugal lose to, or win against Turkey. Sorry, I'm all over the place because my camera stopped working. And here's a quick look overall at what's happening with the bracket. It's going to be a fun match. Hopefully my camera starts working again. Not entirely sure what's happening. This might be why I don't use Skype for the audio. But on Skype, we do have a friend joining us. One of your favorite YouTubers in chat today on voice. Night Owl, are you there with us?
Heck yeah, man. I'm super excited to be here. Thank you so much.
Hey, glad to have you here, pal. And here we are taking a look at the lineups for today. OP Sam, Wolfstalker, Morton, and Faust coming out for Team Germany. And on the Italian side, Mostema and Pasti have been good in the 2v2. Ace, though, has been the #1 guy. A big reason why Italy is where they are right now in the tournament. So we'll see if he can continue with that great form. Trying to get my camera back up one more time. And you know what? I am wondering if the Skype is killing my camera. So I'm gonna, you know what, Night Owl, I'm gonna go ahead and kill Skype here for a minute and bring you up on Discord so that we actually do have the camera up here. So let's go ahead. Send me a DM with your Discord, and we'll get you going on there instead.
Yep, that's fine. Sounds good.
All
We'll
right,
talk
buddy.
to you in a sec.
All right, I'm gonna kill Skype because evil Skype. Get out of here, Skype. And let's see if that brings my camera back. And it hasn't. We're gonna do this one more time. We're gonna go to the bad camera and then to the good camera. And let's see. Boom! There we are. Hi, everybody. Here's your lineup. Gonna go ahead and get Discord going and find my good friend Night Owl who can join us on chat here. Had this all set up, but unfortunately Skype is super annoying because it steals your camera away. There's your 2v2 lineups. It's not going to be Sam and Morton. It's going to be Sam and Wolfstalker against Mostema and Pasti, who have been the primary 2v2 duo for the Italian side. So a little interesting there to see this wrinkle in everything. It's definitely always curious to see Morton out of the 2v2, although this did work for Germany already. So I'm for one thinking this might be a good call, and they really want to lock down that 1v1. And Sam and Wolfstalker have been a good 2v2 duo. They have had success in 2v2, so I believe that this is probably a good idea. But of course, only time will tell. Now going to go ahead and try to figure out how to add our friend Night Owl back in here. 2v2 starting up. It's going to be Italy on the top, and on the bottom, it's going to be Germany. OP Sam and Wolfstalker. Give me 1 second here to get Night Owl back in on audio. Not going to read his stuff online. There we go. So Night Owl sent the friend request. We'll get him in here in just a moment, and all will be kosher. Mostema and Pasti top of your screen. Sam and Wolfstalker on the bottom. Bans for this one: Lava Hound and Le Baby Dragon off the board for this entire time. And there we go. Night Owl jumping on into our chat. Give me 1 second here. Boom. There's my buddy Night Owl. Going to send him the voice call. And Night Owl, you there?
Hey, yeah, I'm here.
Boom. All right. So now let me know, chat, if Night Owl's audio is functioning correctly. AC in the chat saying, I hear Morton is getting benched. Yeah, you know, I've heard that too, that it's a good idea to take one of the best competitive players of all time and not let him play during the knockout stage of international competition. So here we go, right-hand side. And a little bit of damage here done by the German squad. Morton has been in a 2v2 partner of Sam for a very long time, but as I said before, in this tournament, they've moved Wolfstalker into the 2v2 with Sam, and they've had good results so far. Sam and Wolfsdoctor both 2-0 in sets in 2v2. But a nice chunk of damage there by Italy on the left-hand side. Night Owl, you've had a chance to watch a little bit of this tournament. You told me as you're editing videos, you're throwing this on and keeping an eye on it. Who's been your favorite to watch so far in No Tilt Worlds?
You know what? I got to be a big fan of the Romanians. I used to live in Romania, and so seeing them play and just kind of watching their play style just reminds me of how focused they are and how dedicated they are to their craft. So it's kind of cool to see their skill level and things like that. So they were one of my favorites, of course, besides North America. A little biased, but.
Well, Romania and the USA had a decent matchup. Of course, the US came out on top, and they're watching this very closely to see who will be the winner here. You know, the US would love to face Italy rather than Germany. This German side is pretty nasty and pretty stacked. And Italy has had upset on their minds and could get one right here. Only 15 seconds left and 1,000 HP on that right-hand side. So basically, it's this push or nothing for Germany in game number 1. Gets in one shot. Royal Giant will not get in a second. And that's going to be it. Game 1 goes to Italy. So despite some struggles in 2v2 during the group stage, Italy battling back and taking the first game off of this German side. Wolfsdoctor and Sam falling in game number 1, of course. All of the 2v2 wins for this German side so far, I believe all of them, have been 2-1. They have not swept, they've not given a 2-0 sweep in 2v2 as far as I'm aware this season. So I could be wrong on that one looking at some of my numbers here. And maybe some of my German numbers didn't get pushed into my overall stat sheet. That's what it's looking like. Oh, Morton, yeah, no, it looks like all the way around they went 2-1 in every one of their games. So no big emergency yet for Germany, but if Italy's going to win this thing, you know, Italy has a talented squad. A lot of 7K players, and some maybe even been pushing 8K if I remember correctly. But also a bunch of 7K players, talented players who've shown good levels so far. You don't want to go to King of the Hill against Germany. So winning that 2v2 would be great and give them, anyone can win a best of 3 in 1v1. Although Morton is pretty tough, and you can see the Royal Giant Skeleton for Germany and Italy just shutting that down on the opposite side of the board and getting it done with the minor wall breakers. Night Owl, you've had a chance to play with the new minor, our friend B-Rad, who's one of the best minor psycho players on the planet, tweeted today, maybe just an hour ago, that he believes that minor as a solo win condition is dead. In your experience so far with the nerf, do you feel the same thing?
Oh, wow. I've noticed it hit a little bit, and especially if you're going to use the minor for chip damage throughout the whole match, it's going to hurt you a little bit. But I've been able to use, I play minor balloon quite a bit, and I've still been able to use it and get my balloon to the tower because I only use the minor as a tank more so than a chip damage dealer. And so it's still been a viable resource for me. And I do like the versatility the minor still offers in the game that no other card in the game offers. And so it may be dead as the main win condition, but I still think that it's going to be used quite a bit.
Well, that's interesting that the minor, will maybe focus more. I mean, minor chip has been struggling for a little while. The last really viable minor chip deck was that minor Spear Goblins Prince version that was going around last summer, I believe. But since then, minor chip hasn't been super strong on its own. But it is one of those cards that fits into a lot of other archetypes. Giant Minor, Minor Loon, as you mentioned, of course, Lava Minor. So we'll see. It should take a little chunk out of the use rate, but not quite maybe what Supercell expected with this nerf. So we'll see on the back end. Here we go. Game number 2, 2v2, and it's going to be wall breakers again for Italy, so we should expect minors. And this time Germany going to what I expect will be double Graveyard. Pretty aggressive there with Graveyard number 1. We'll see if we get into those later stages of double and maybe even triple elixir if they start stacking those graveyards one-on-one. So what's your 2v2 experience, Night Owl? I don't know if you dig in pretty heavily on 2v2. I know a lot of creators love doing some 2v2 videos with other creators just as to have a little bit of fun. Where are you on your 2v2 lifestyle?
You know what? I'm pretty much anti 2v2, and I think that's only because I don't see a lot of reasoning for it. I'm pretty limited with my time, and a lot of my audience knows that just because I have 14 kids and I have a lot going on in my life right now, and so 2v2 doesn't really benefit me a whole lot. And so I haven't had a chance to play it, unfortunately, although it is a fun game mode to pick up and play, but I haven't gotten really, really good at it, unfortunately.
Wall breakers connect right-hand side, but we're going to pause for 1 second. Did you say 14 kids?
Well, give or take. Oh, well, to be honest, I only have 5, but sometimes it feels like 14, but I do have a lot of kids.
I think once you get past 4, every number, it's just a number. It's just a large number.
It's really exponential. And yeah, you start throwing them in the car, and you just kind of count heads at that point, and you just hope that they're all there. And when you get to your destination, you count heads again, and if it's, at least 80% of the kids are there, you're happy for the trip.
Yeah, I can imagine. Just going to double check to make sure that we're set on 1080p. So here we go. And again, at the moment, it's Italy out to a slight lead. You can see Miner continuing to pressure on the right-hand side. Tornado is not banned. You see Tornado is active, so continuing to throw the Miner in the safe spot is Italy. But now that we're getting to around 1,500, we might see them start to make a change.
And it looks like, obviously, they're just holding off. I mean, if they are playing double graveyard, just like you said, they're going to wait until a little bit later when they have that right moment and strike. I think they're going to stack those graveyards.
Yeah, typically you don't go 2 at once. Typically it's sort of like one after the other. So here we go, graveyard number 1.
Yeah, here we
and
go.
Trying to bait out some of those responses, see if they get them off the board, and then as soon as that fades, begin to throw graveyard number 2. You see on the right-hand side, Wolfstalker now hitting full elixir, and instead they choose to go poison to take some of that support off the board. So playing a little bit more close to the chest here as we move into sudden death overtime. Giant Skeleton right-hand lane will be met by the P.E.K.K.A. and Ewiz in the back. Dark Prince taken care of, and now you see the pressure on the left-hand side from the Italians. These wall breakers will not connect. And that P.E.K.K.A. taken care of easily on the right-hand side. So the closer that we get to that final minute, the more this begins to shift towards the German side. This deck has a lot more firepower in the later rounds than the Italians' minor wall breakers deck. So this has been actually, even though they're behind at the moment, Germany not in the worst spot. They have plenty of elixir. Just have to make sure they don't give up too many silly connections. There you go. Bomb tower, right-hand side. Fireball with a little extra help there against that Magic Archer. But now, here we go. Graveyard in, Freeze in, Snowball in response, but the Dark Prince does not quite connect. But you see the catch on the left-hand side, so Miner stopped 680. Here we go, final minute, triple elixir. This is where Germany can put the pedal to the metal. A very well-timed log and bats at the bridge. Now 596, here we go. Graveyard in, left-hand side, Dark Prince and Mega Minion trying to get across the board, and they do just barely tank for that graveyard, but poison down in response. Miner going to the back now. Fireball in, does not get the battle healer away, does a little bit of chip there onto that musketeer, but here we go. Graveyard freeze one more time, does not pick up the bats, but now down under 300. Left-hand lane starting to get into spell cycle range. Germany, as long as they make no mistakes, should have this one sewn up. Fireball in. Oh my word. Can they hold off? And Italy steals it. Italy steals it. 2-0 sweep for Italy. Germany could not get back around to their last spell, 61 HP, and Italy does what they needed to do. Now, with the set advantage going into 1v1, a 2-0 sweep for the Italians, taking Morton out of the 2v2. Feels like it's worked so far, but here, you don't know if it was really that or if it was just falling a little bit too behind early on. Italy playing like they are mean for the upset. Germany falling in set number 1. Wow, absolute wow. Night Owl, I'm going to give you a second here to gather your thoughts, but as soon as you have them, let me know. What'd you think of that? I mean, you said 2v2 is not your thing. How about that ending?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I honestly think that maybe Germany was playing a little bit too passive to begin with that match. I think they should have been a little bit more aggressive, and I think they might have got a little bit more chip in there. And at the end, they were just like stressing out beyond all reason to get cycled back to their spells. That has got to be devastating. And this was a big win, I think, for Italy right here.
Yeah, I mean, this is, you don't want to feel like you have to beat Germany in both 1v1 and King of the Hill. Well, now you only need one of those 2 wins. And anyone can win a best of 3 set. You can get some bad matchups in there. You can make one mistake, and Ace could certainly. He's shown some great levels so far in this tournament. He's up against Morton, one of the consensus best in the business, easily a top 5 competitive player in the world. But Ace now has a big shot. Germany could fall here in the quarterfinals. They're going to have to win 2 sets in a row. Of course, if we get to King of the Hill, you feel like Germany has the advantage. And even in 1v1, you feel like Morton definitely is the player everyone believes should win this 1v1 against Ace, but now the pressure is different. Now this is a must-win rather than a could close for Germany, and really great play here. Let's go ahead and take a look at the replay. They're queuing up right now for the end of that 2v2. And you see the Fireball getting some chip damage, taking the Magic Archer off the board. And that Fireball is the difference right there. Miner comes in, and so much pressure on the left-hand side. Looked like Germany had this thing. This final minute is where this 2v2 double graveyard deck starts to shine, right? Where you can really put the pressure on. But you're going to see spells start coming in left-hand lane. And a great job here from Mostema and Pasty. They are right knocking on death's door, but a Miner's going to come into the back left-hand corner, the bottom left-hand corner, and a Fireball right behind it. See that? The Fireball goes to the Musketeer. You think that that's a little bit of trouble, but they're going to go ahead and get all the way back around one more time, and you'll see the difference they make in this final push on the left-hand side. The Miner's going to come in and go to the back once again. Poison is down. Oh, Miner goes to the inside. This time, Fireball goes high to keep those troops off of that Miner, and that's just enough to make room for the Snowball to come in, and there you go. Italy taking a 2-0 sweep in 2v2, and this is as an underdog what you have to do, and Italy now only needs one more set to send the Germans home. I don't know how many of these upsets that you've watched here, Night Owl, but it's been kind of crazy, and I kind of want your thoughts on on this overall team format. You know, we have 2v2, 1v1 King of the Hill. It seems like this tournament in particular has shown not only can anybody win on any day, but the high level of players that we have in the semi-pro wings may be waiting for a shot at CRL.
You know what? I like initially I did not like the format, but I think it's become more of the standard here with all the competitions, and it really does give anybody a chance to win, which opens up the door for tons of new players to work their way up to CRL to give their chance in the spotlight. And I like that. And I love the underdog story as well. I mean, if this match comes to Italy and Italy takes the win here today, I think that that is absolutely awesome for the game. And it gives anybody hope to keep on playing, keep on practicing to make sure that you learn everything that you need to take the win.
So you see that final after Italy going to the left over and over again, and Crap chiming in the chat one time to the right. That's all it took for Italy. And now we go into 1v1, and a bit of a surprise here. Ace not coming out for the 1v1. Instead, it's Mattia coming out for the 1v1 against Morton. So not going with the guy who's carried the team all the way through to this level. Instead, switching things up in this 1v1. Kind of a surprising move, but we already saw one slightly surprising move earlier today with Derplight coming into the 1v1 instead of Lucas for Portugal. And okay, so it is Ace in the 1v1. Just a little problem with the graphic there.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like Ace is on the top there, and yeah, they got the graphic switched out. Now we're good to go.
Yeah, Ace has been phenomenal, and that number on the right-hand side, those are Mattia's stats. Actually, Ace so far is 7-4, a 64% win rate overall in head-to-head play here in No Tilt World. So he has been on fire. Of course, across from him, one of the best in the game. Morton has not played a ton of head-to-head so far in this tournament, only one 1v1 set that he won, but his lifetime head-to-head win rate in CRL, 65% over 3 seasons, including an astounding 7-1, 88% win rate in King of the Hill in this last fall campaign where SK Gaming came out with the championship in CRL West.
Wow, that is undeniably some excellent numbers from Morton. He's definitely intimidating. I can't imagine what it would be like to be Ace right now. I mean, just going against him, or anybody for that matter, to go against Morton right now, especially with those kind of numbers behind him.
Well, this is a big-time opportunity for the young Italian star. He's definitely made a name for himself so far this season here in No Tilt Worlds. He does have, of course, some competitive experience, most recently number 4 finish in La Copa with Team ANAE, and, of course, the number 1 finisher in the first quarter for Red Bull MEO Italy. So Ace, a talented player, a 7K player, would love to add a signature win here over one of the best-known players in all of Clash Royale. A fact I love to bring up about Morton, and this might make some of you guys jealous. 5th place all-time on the leaderboards in 12-win grand challenges. The last I checked, which was at the start of this season, he was at 432, although it's possible he's added a few more to that since then.
Wow, that defense was absolutely amazing. I thought he was behind on that defense there, but he was able to stop Morton completely.
Well, a lot of good cycle options here for Ace to respond to this really, really nasty Goblin Giant Sparky deck. Of course, with the skeletons, the zap for a reset, and if necessary, the miner, the log to create some room. So Ace has some options for dealing with this miner, or dealing with this Sparky when it comes up. And you can see him consistently getting these magic archers in the back, trying to help out a little bit with the piercing and then put some extra work. And there you go, Earthquake in. This is the popular spell right now in this Goblin Giant Sparky deck. And look at that, Giant just ahead enough, and that mini P.E.K.K.A making a beeline for the tower. So Night Owl, I don't know your deck preferences. So let's say you have one deck you have to choose to play against one of these two players. What are you pulling out for the $1 million game?
You know what? I would lose. Oh, 100%. But you know that I play the, what do they call the skill-less deck? I play the Elixir Golem right now, unfortunately. And over the last couple of seasons, she hasn't been doing so well for me. But hey, I still have hope that she's going to come back in there. Wow. That is incredible. Magic Archer, one of the strongest cards in the game right now. Really surprising not to see a nerf last season for the Magic Archer. But I guess they have their reasoning over there.
Final 10 seconds. Here we go. Morton in the lead, throwing a little more extra damage on that left-hand tower with the EQ, trying to hold off any extra spell damage, and there you go. Morton takes game number 1. Ace not quite able to put enough chip damage on those opposite towers, and that Sparky really able to prevent the Giant from creating a solid tank across the bridge. Morton takes game number 1 and puts Germany back in a good spot. One more game to win this one overall. Goblin Giant Sparky. The EQ has been very, very popular, and it's been mixed in, right now. Hog Rider EQ has been popular, of course, now in the Goblin Giant Sparky. With the addition of a little extra building work from that Goblin Cage, it seems like EQ has finally found a comfortable place in the meta. Night Owl, thoughts on the Earthquake?
Earthquake's huge right now. Everybody's using Earthquake, Hog Earthquake. I even have 3 decks literally in my setup right now with Earthquake in it, and I've never used it before in my entire life. So I do like the versatility that Earthquake offers, especially with Bomb Tower being so prevalent in the meta. I think it's a great option for people to go to.
So here we go, looking at that overall stats provided by Stats Royale, and as someone just pointed out in the chat, with basically no way to take Magic Archer off the board, Morton's still able to get that win. And it was really interesting because while he couldn't take the Magic Archer off the board, it was very difficult for Ace to find any way past the Sparky with the Giant and relying mostly on just hoping to get some minor chip on there. So really, really challenging matchup, really interesting matchup, both different directions, but Morton, brilliant in gameplay, able to get this one done. Yeah, you want the in-game sound up just a little bit? Okay, I'll bring the in-game sound up just a tad here. So we'll see in-game sound up a little bit. Here we go. Game number 2 of our 1v1 set. Morton with a game in hand. A win here sends this to King of the Hill, where you'd expect, of course, Germany to have a pretty significant advantage.
I think the best part about that Giant Sparky matchup from last time, too, is it keeps so much pressure on. I think that Ace was always trying to defend the whole time, and it didn't really allow him to set up a very good counter push because of that. And so that's the biggest problem that I've always faced with that Giant Sparky deck. It's absolutely devastating to go against because I feel like it can never actually put a game plan together throughout the game.
So Ace may be going Giant Sparky Miner or Goblin Giant Sparky Miner, and a little anger face coming out from Morton on the bottom side.
Oh no.
And look at that. Just absolutely shreds that left-hand tower. Morton out to a massive early lead. Traps the Sparky in the back with that graveyard push. Throws the poison down as well. and the Hunter able to creep right on up. Morton now with that left-hand tower down to 210 has not sniffed any damage. And you don't see Morton emote a ton, but right now throwing out a little bit of aggression here in this game number 2. Very interesting deck from Ace. And Sparky left-hand side, minions down, and arrows come out, wipe the minions off the board. Just no quarter given by the German right now.
Oh, wow, this is really not going well for Ace at the moment. Devastating. Oh, no.
So Mini P.E.K.K.A picked up, Giant down in front of the Sparky, Ewiz behind. That's a huge push coming down, and there you see Ice Golem high, but Ice Golem Mini P.E.K.K.A takes care of the Sparky very easily. Mini P.E.K.K.A comes back and says bye-bye to the Giant. Just about everything going Morton's way in this matchup. Putting a stamp on this one, saying, hey guys, there's a reason why people say I'm one of the best in the world, maybe the best in the world. Magic Archer cycled in the back again for Morton. And going to poison off that left-hand tower, so tower down, and look at this. The high graveyard, just to keep that Sparky trapped across the bridge. Sparky and Mini P.E.K.K.A caught in a no man's land up high. Ice Golem to keep that frozen at the top. They could get across to stop one Sparky shot from getting through skeletons to the inside. Arrows take that off the board. Mini P.E.K.K.A trying to get there, but too fast of a cycle for the German. This should be it, and it is 2-0 sweep for Italy in 2v2. 2-0 sweep for Morton against Ace in the 1v1, and now we're going to King of the Hill. GG, well played, and maybe a little bit of aggression out of Morton here in this 1v1 set.
Well, either way, I'm super excited we're going to King of the Hill. I love watching King of the Hill because, oh man, just from a competitive standpoint, you love to watch all the competition. Oh, this should be good.
Yeah, anything can happen in King of the Hill, so, you know, very interesting questions on who will be coming out. I don't remember what the active roster was for Germany. Maybe the chat remembers. We know that it's going to be that Morton, Sam, and Wolfstock are all in there. I don't remember if I saw Schwarzen or Faust, or it could be Lucas as well as the last player. Here we go. Your stats, courtesy of Stats Royale, didn't take a ton of graveyards, but 3 gets it done. And in fact, one of those graveyards was defensive, keeping that Mini P.E.K.K.A and the Sparky trapped up top. Morton getting really aggro in this one, and wow, really doing a great job of frustrating Ace and stopping him from rolling right on through Germany. Now we're going to go into the King of the Hill set. Again, I don't remember who the 4th player was on the active roster for Germany, so we'll see if it is Faust. Most likely you expect Faust to get mixed in to that King of the Hill set. He has been on fire over the last few months as a head-to-head player. On the Italian side, they have not played a ton of King of the Hill so far this tournament, so we'll be very curious to see what they bring out. Obviously, you expect Ace to be in King of the Hill, especially after his performances both in head-to-head and in 1v1 and King of the Hill sets so far. Last time it was Mostema and Mattia and Ace in King of the Hill, so we'll see if they go back to that one more time. And I believe that it was Faust, what chat's saying, so we'll see. We'll see what's happening on their side. We're going to go ahead and get those lineups in just a moment. Wow. Night Owl, King of the Hill. Each team puts up 3 players. Each player, 1 life, could go down very quickly. You know, you've seen some big King of the Hill performances. Is there any single King of the Hill performance that stands out to you in your time of watching competitive Clash Royale?
Are you kidding me? Obviously, the CRL championship this year against Morton and Surgical Goblin. One of the best performances that I think we've ever seen. That really came down to the wire, and as a spectator, being able to see those performances is what keeps this sport like alive and well.
Yeah, that was a great moment, and you know, you saw it was at one point looked like it was going to be a Team Liquid sweep in King of the Hill, and then Morton came out. Went 2 in a row, and then that Morton versus Surgical Goblin matchup, and Surge with a slight matchup advantage in that one. Morton did a great job of battling back, and then, of course, you guys all know, came down to 1 HP. And, of course, pretty much every YouTuber has broken that match down in detail. I have, of course. If you want to go to my here, I'm going to say hi in the chat right now, so if you want to go check out my channel, youtube.com/Rich Slayton. I did an Inside the Play edition of that Morton versus Surgical Goblin matchup, breaking down exactly every little piece of how that one went down. Of course, might be the most analyzed game in history. And here we go. This is what I thought would come out from Germany for King of the Hill. It will be Faust leading off with Sam and Morton. And then on the right-hand side for Italy, Mattia in the leadoff spot, Ace in the middle, and Mostema playing anchor for this King of the Hill set. Someone's getting put on timeout in chat. Don't use those kind of words there, feller. So here we go. King of the Hill. And Faust will be leading things off for the German side. Faust so far in this tournament, 2-0. But more importantly, to talk about his overall record as of late. Faust, of course, taking #1 with existence in the Clash Contender Series for 2019, along with his teammates Schwarzen and Wolfstochter. That existence team was really, really good. And that's a big thing about this German side is you have Sam and Morton, one of the great 2v2 duos. Obviously didn't play 2v2 together today. But you also have 3 phenomenal semi-pro players in Faust, Wolfstochter, and Schwarzen. So a lot of depth on this German side. Italy has a big hill to climb in this King of the Hill.
Yeah, they have a real tough matchup going right here. Obviously, they're going against some of the best in the world. This is going to be tough, but it's going to be interesting to see. I'm more curious to see what their deck choices are here. Given, oh my gosh, it looks like it looks like he's going to run the graveyard deck. Looks like Clash Mattia.
Yeah, Mattia most likely going graveyard. This is a semi-popular graveyard construction. And then Faust. Could this just be a straight-up minor P.E.K.K.A control deck? It might be Balloon as well. Pretty heavy for a Balloon deck, but...
Yeah, it doesn't look like Balloon's going to be in there. It might just be some sort of element with Bridge Dam, and his last card's got to be a spell, would you imagine?
You know, you feel like it'd be a big spell, but, you know, ever since the introduction, ever since the period of time where Snowball and Barbaro were both introduced and became very powerful, the need for a big spell seems to have dropped a little bit. Here we go. First graveyard push coming out from the Italian. Ewiz high to deal with those tanks, and the goblins down behind the P.E.K.K.A, easily cleaning up that graveyard. So a lot of elixir spent by Mattia, and then a ton of elixir coming down the opposite direction. And doesn't quite time that right. You saw what Faust was going for on the right-hand side, hoping the miner would pull the knight out of the range so that bandit would dash on the tower. Doesn't get the tower dash, but does get some good damage left-hand side, and now it's the Italians' turn to fire back. And this time the poison does come in to take the goblins off the board, but with the Ewiz in support, it still should be not too much damage here. Faust in the lead in the final 20 seconds. So just straight up, a more common, more popular current edition of Graveyard. Ewiz wasn't really always a graveyard piece, but now that we're moving away from sort of the splash yard that it's been so, variations of splash yard that have been dominant for a while. So here we go into sudden death overtime, and Night Owl, take a look at this pile of troops going the left-hand lane.
Oh, wow. He's going to, I mean, that's going to be tough to stop right there. With all those troops coming in, he's going to be able to get some damage a little bit of chip damage at least. I'm surprised he didn't throw his miner down.
Cycles back to a second P.E.K.K.A. Now that we're in double elixir time, Faust does have to be careful about the rate at which these graveyards can come in. Here we go. Miner goes to the back, easily picked up by Mattia. Knight does not miss a beat. P.E.K.K.A and Bandit at the top. Bandit does get the dash on tower. Ewiz connects it well. Baby Dragon belching down to 371, 275. Germany with a chance to take their first head in King of the Hill. And there you go. Tower down. Faust getting the first one out of the way. And this was the scary spot. Italy did what they had to do, took the 2v2, but could not stop Morton in 1v1. And this is where Germany just gets really, really difficult to beat. You have two top-tier CRL players mixed in with Faust, who is, in my opinion, and the opinion of many others, CRL-level talent in his head-to-head play. And there you go. Faust showing one more time, taking care of business in the later moments of that 1v1 set. Germany up 1. Up next, Ace, who has done pretty well in King of the Hill here in the No-Tilt Worlds, but you have to beat Faust, Sam, and then if you can do it, you have to get all the way to Morton. This might be one of the best King of the Hill lineups that we have overall in the tournament. Night Owl, you're looking at that Graveyard deck. That one's been fairly popular as of late. How do you feel about that Graveyard deck versus the other ones that are popular right now? Is there a specific Graveyard deck that you favor the most in the current meta?
This Graveyard deck, actually being an Elixir Golem player, is one of the worst ones that I struggle with the most, just because it does have Bomb Tower in it. It's really hard to actually get damage on the tower, and it seems like the counter pushes are always so devastating. They're able to get Graveyard in there quite a bit. So I do like this variant of Graveyard, and I like the fact that it doesn't have Bowler in there. I think Ewiz is awesome, very strong card, and it's awesome that they're starting to bring that more into the archetype.
Yeah, it's a really interesting piece. Here we go. Game number 2 of King of the Hill. And there we go. It's going to be Minor Loon. And as soon as Faust saw that Mega Minion come down, went Balloon to the right lane. Of course, an Ewiz Magic Archer will make it difficult for this Minor Muskaloon deck. So look at that. You have 2 very strong counters for Balloon and the Mega Minion and the Ewiz. And then, of course, the Magic Archer doesn't hurt as well. Mini P.E.K.K.A. high. And Faust not kiting, rather sending the Ice Golem directly into that Mini P.E.K.K.A. and had to throw the skeletons behind. Bar Barrel down for Ace. Minor Chip left-hand side for Faust. And Balloon down one more time. Ewiz high. Night Owl, what do you think Faust has to do to try to deal with all these defensive options to respond to that Balloon?
Hold on a second. Oh, about that. I'm trying. Sorry, my feed is a little bit delayed, so I'm trying to pull it up on different devices. You know what? I play this deck a lot. The Faust is playing. This is actually one of my go-to decks. And the only thing that he's going to be able to do to get to the tower is going to have to use his Miner quite a bit. I think that's going to be the only key. And he has to work away to get to the Balloon there. He has to get a couple shots off, and he'll be able to take it out.
So that Balloon does not connect, but death damage will get in. A few more of those certainly could be helpful. Musketeer dealing with the push on the left-hand side. And just Snowball with the skeletons for the Magic Archer, so spending 3 in response to that 4. Will take some chip damage, but not too much. Musketeer does go down on the Mini P.E.K.K.A, but damage averted, and here we go. Ace now setting up with the Mega Knight left-hand side, high with the Mega Minion. And right now, Faust is trying to get a little bit more death damage here and get it into range where we can start getting really fast and loose with that Miner down to 1038 left-hand lane. High with the Ice Golem, not going for a kite, and here we go. It's the Royal Hogs coming in, and Bomb Tower able to hold them for a second. EQ in, just trying to slow some stuff down, and those piggies do connect. Mini P.E.K.K.A gets picked up last second by the Miner, and suddenly the lead not as difficult for Ace to try to come back from.
Wow, that was an excellent push for Ace right there. Able to get a lot of damage and able to bring the game back into control for him.
And look at that, getting that Magic Archer down onto that Bomb Tower, opening up a clean lane for those piggies. Snowball Log trying to stop the damage, but those piggies connecting heavily. Almost a bit of a psychological BM using Royal Hogs against the German side, which we know overall really loves that wonderful fun win condition. Miner to the back, trying to pull the Mini P.E.K.K.A all the way behind. And with that, Ewiz and Mega Minion high. Balloon not going to get close enough. Barely gets death damage, takes the lead back, but the question really is now, Night Owl, is can Faust hold off against the tools that Ace has to get past that Bomb Tower?
This is going to be extremely hard for Faust to stop this with Earthquake and the Hogs coming in. It is not going to be easy for him.
Oh! Death damage again, though, down to 298 left-hand side. Suddenly, Faust only needs a little bit more. No big spell. So keep that in mind. Has to get minor and then small spell chip. And that snowball does not get the magic archer at all. So if a catch comes in here, and look at that, Ewiz does redirect the minor, 158 left-hand side. This could be the push that decides everything. Bomb tower high, outside of EQ range, minor to the front. Faust with the snowball, and that's it. Faust holds off and gets the damage done. Able to get enough death damage on tower to get himself into a good spot, and then on the back end, able to stop those piggies, and it was the high bomb tower outside of range of the attempted prediction EQ, and suddenly Ace not able to find his way through. Night Owl, it looked by about the midway point of that game that Ace had both the matchup and the concepts down to figure out his way to get on tower enough, but in the end, despite having all those tools in his belt, not able to stop enough of those death damages to get himself on tower and not able to get past the bomb tower.
You know what? He did the right thing. I think that Faust also did the right thing by cycling minor to the tower, able to get those little small spells. Every little bit of chip helps, and I think that's what started to do it for him towards the end of that match. That worked out extremely well.
Yeah, and that's the big one. Every little bit of chip helps, and it didn't really seem like he had to do as much to get those death damage, those death bombs onto the tower as you might have thought, considering all of the air counters that were in the hand of Ace. But here we go. We've been talking about Faust a lot. We talked about Faust a lot in my video with Ash and Koji-san when we were talking about how these teams match up and why Germany is so good. We talked about Faust a lot on these No-Tilt World streams. Faust is definitely probably the young player to watch out of Germany, and showing why right now. One win away from not just a King of the Hill sweep, but from sending Germany through to the quarterfinals, where the USA is waiting with bated breath, maybe fingers crossed, hoping that someone from Italy, that their final player can get a reverse sweep here and take Germany off the board. Of course, maybe USA wants to match up with Germany and show how good they are in a quarterfinal matchup. So we'll see who gets this done. But Faust, yeah, look at the chat. Look at this chat here. Faust is literally insane with that balloon deck, says Iman, and yeah, I have to agree. That was some next level work there from the German.
I mean, even without getting a balloon even without getting a balloon drop on tower, even the death damage from the balloon is devastating. Time after time, I think he got like 3 death damages in a row, over and over again. For Ace not to be able to stop that balloon, that was what killed him in that match.
Yeah, there was an early Mega Knight cycled in the back, and you got to wonder. You saw a balloon come in at that moment, and that balloon got some death damage. You got to wonder if cycling 7 Elixir against a fast cycle deck like Balloon may be a little bit overconfident in that moment. So here we go, waiting for the final player for Italy to ready up. Probably maybe even taking a timeout here. I don't know for sure, but Italy has to be really discussing this. Their entire no-tilt campaign comes down to this one game. They have one.
Is this it? And they're out? They're out?
Well, if they lose this, they're out.
Oh no!
Yeah, this is the knockout stage.
This is do or die, then, boys. This is what I'm talking about. This is why we all showed up to watch today. This is awesome.
This tournament has been like this top to bottom. We've seen teams lose when we didn't expect, and teams put up great performances. Italy, they were the ones who got out early and showed that they could do some damage, but up against this nasty German lineup. And this is what I was talking about from the very beginning of this match, that Italy needed to win 2v2. They did that, but where they didn't want to end up was in King of the Hill. And not sure what's happening here. Maybe we'll get someone from No Tilt to give us word in the chat, but Faust suddenly taking an auto loss. Maybe there was something going on with his internet, but maybe he timed out, and there is a limit on how long you can take to ready up according to the rules for No Tilt. But it's looking like right now Faust is being eliminated due to potentially a timeout. So we'll see if someone from No Tilt gives us word in the chat here. I'm going to try to go check up on that one, but as you can see from the graphic, Faust.
Oh wow, that is
Faust
interesting.
So I'm gonna actually text someone from No Tilt right now and see if I can't get some information.
My heck, I mean, you don't want to see this obviously in any tournament. That's not the way you want to win. But if that is the case, small sigh of relief for Italy to be able to have some sort of chance to take down these guys. Obviously, Faust was on fire right there. That balloon play was absolutely insane with the miner coming in clutch. He was on a streak there, and I think he would have been really solid going into that final match. So,
And now getting word in the chat here from No Tilt Management that Faust took too long to request his match, and look, them's the rules here. If they have set rules on how long it takes you to request match and accept matches, and if you don't do it, there's some allowances for time. But Faust taking too long, so Faust eliminated. Very unfortunate.
oh wow, it happens. I mean, rules are rules.
So here we go. OP Sam stepping in against Mostema. Italy still needs to win 2 in a row to keep this thing going. And 2 difficult outs. First up, the mad scientist from Germany, OP Sam. Sam used to play a lot more off-meta and competitive back when there were still bans and head-to-head play in CRL. And since those bans are gone, plays a lot more meta decks. Still feels comfortable, but certainly takes one of the surprises he has up his sleeve, one of his tricks, out of contention. And that's a really aggressive play from Mostema. Not able to get much damage on tower. Still slightly ahead on Elixir, about a half Elixir ahead, and a little ahead on damage as the first minute of play goes through. So Miner Loon, Lava Miner, Mini P.E.K.K.A. does not quite get all the way to tower, although still threatens pretty heavily. Musketeer in the back for OP Sam. I don't know if you play much in the way of Lava Miner over there, Night Owl, but you know, there's lots of different variations of it in terms of what you do on the ground. It's been, at one point it was Tombstone. Guards are not unpopular. Some people like to play it with Skarmy. Do you play much Lava Miner? And when you do, what do you kind of tend to favor as your ground troops?
You know what? I don't play a lot. I played a couple of times, obviously, because I have to play different decks pretty much every day. But that was a great play by what Mostema did there, able to force out the Musketeer. Musketeer being one of the only air defenses that OP Sam has, and so I thought that was a really brilliant play. Unfortunately for OP Sam, he didn't have anything else to counter that Mini P.E.K.K.A. and that Miner coming in on that side. So that was a really good play. But I love Miner Lava Loon. Obviously, I would have had Balloon in this deck for sure. Besides, let's see, what would I've had differently? Because I always run Balloon whenever I have Lava Hound.
Graveyard right-hand side, Baby Dragon struggling to keep up with it. Mostema slightly ahead, and Miner to the right-hand side, to the back of the tower. Skeletons there a little bit late, so some more chip in. With that zap, 264 right-hand side. Sam really needs to get this push going. Fireball Zap will not... what's the math here? I'm not good at quick math. I think Fireball Zap should be enough.
Fireball Zap, 234. Yeah, it should be enough.
Miner to the front. Skeletons do pick up. Here we are, moving into sudden death overtime. Sam needs to pull the trigger quickly, but it looks like he's going to be in trouble. Graveyard comes down. Bar Barrel to tank. Mini P.E.K.K.A. meets it right at the bridge. Mostema throwing everything defensively to stop this one from being stolen in the final moment, but Skeletons get on tower. Miner to the opposite direction, goes to the front, and there you go. Furnace to pick up the Miner Fireball. In Zap, not enough, but Miner does it, and suddenly it comes down to Game 5 King of the Hill. Faust, who knows what happened, turned his phone off for a second, gets eliminated by a timeout, and then Sam not able to pull it off here with this against this Lava Hound deck. Lava Miner takes it, and suddenly Italy could upset Germany in the round of 16.
You know, that's really unfortunate, Sam. I mean, I think Mostema had matchup there, and I think he knew it too. Able to be very aggressive that game. You saw with the initial fireball, he came in real hot, ready to use his elixir, and just keep him on his heels the entire game.
Yeah, that was, the pressure was certainly high, and there were a couple times. The big one was the Skeletons getting down and not picking up the Miner. You know, we're looking at that last sequence. It was the right-hand side. Skeletons came down late, didn't pick up the Miner, and then, of course, Mostema had the zap ready, able to zap them off anyway and get a couple extra shots, and that Miner putting it, in really, really, really dangerous territory. And then, yeah, just outside of fireball zap range, needed one more shot from the miner. That 6 HP could have been devastating to Italy. Instead, able to get it done. And now it comes down to 2 players. That's it. It's a best of 1 to see who goes on to the quarterfinals. Mostema versus Morton for all the marbles to see who Team USA will face in the corners. Unbelievable. Wow, it's rough on Faust to go out that way, to not get the chance to go for the full-on sweep, but the rules are in place for a reason, and suddenly Germany, it all comes down to just 3 to 5 minutes. This is wild.
Wow, this is going to be an intense match. Super excited to see it, though. Like I said, from a spectating point of view, this is the kind of stuff you want it to come down to. As a player, you don't want this any day of the week, unfortunately. But here we go.
Well, if we're wondering who's more nervous right now, I guarantee you it's got to be Mostema. I mean, look, maybe he feels like he's playing with nothing to lose here, but Morton has been in this position over and over and over again on much bigger stages than this one.
And I gotta assume this is Morton's go-to deck this season. He's been using this deck a whole lot with the mini P.E.K.K.A. bats. This is his deck. He's ready to go.
Yeah, very curious to see if Mostema, if this was preparation. Of course, a couple hog shots coming in the left-hand side.
Wow.
But Mostema having a couple tank killers with the mini P.E.K.K.A. and the hunter. Very curious to see if Mostema was prepared for this.
You have to imagine Mostema. Yeah, you have to imagine Mostema knew he was going to use this deck. Obviously, from an outsider's point of view, I haven't seen Morton using this deck a whole lot. He's been tweeting it out on Twitter. This is his go-to deck, and so in this situation, I would have assumed this is the deck that he was going to use.
This was my deck for January. Don't play it anywhere
near
This is
January.
As well.
Is this deck in your January calendar? Awesome.
Yeah, this was my January deck when the Firecracker was still buffed.
Right on.
And there you go. It's going to be Royal Hogs. And that's going to be an interesting challenge here for Morton to deal with these piggies. You see a lot of damage coming in the left-hand side. Magic Archer high. So a bit of fireball bait here for the Italian. And mini P.E.K.K.A. log will keep that hog off the tower as well. Italy has a real shot right now. A real dangerous shot. Germany in a bit of trouble. So you have to control that mini P.E.K.K.A. best that you can, and then figure out how to keep those Royal Hogs from just shredding that tower.
Dude, the problem is, I think Morton doesn't really have a good stop for the Hogs to completely stop them all the way. I think every time, Mostema's going to get a little bit of damage.
Yeah, I believe this is a double small spell deck, isn't it, from Morton?
Yeah, I believe so as well. So you have Tornado in that? What?
No, it's either Barbell or Snowball, I think.
Yeah.
But if it was Snowball, we would have seen that against the Piggies already.
You would have thought, yeah, you saw the Snowball with the Piggies already, or the Bats, any situation there. Or not the Bats, but yeah.
Hunter does not get a shot. Earthquake down, getting some more chip for Mostema. Here we are, final 15 seconds of regulation. Hog Rider in, Log trying to reset things. It's EQ. Oh no, it's Hog EQ. Duh. Silly. Yeah, I played this deck for a month and forgot that it was EQ.
This is the Earthquake meta. Here we go. This is going to be intense.
Piggies coming in. Mini P.E.K.K.A. trapped high. A lot of damage on that tower. And my word, Germany out in the round of 16. Italy pulls off probably one of the biggest upsets of the entire tournament. Wow. Just no real response for those Royal Hogs. Between the mini P.E.K.K.A. and Hunter, 2 great responses. When you mix in the log against that Hog Rider, no response for the Royal Hogs, and it really feels like the Italian squad did their homework, and Morton falling, and you got to feel for Faust. You really have to feel for Faust not getting the request in time. There's been a couple of teams who have lost matches because of this rule, and it's really unfortunate when it happens, but the rules are the rules, and here we go. Italy taking out Germany and moving on to the quarterfinals against the U.S.
Wow, that was absolutely clutch. Incredible to see that final match. Obviously, yeah, it goes out. I mean, Faust, that is really sad to see, but unfortunately, it is what it is. It's competition. We have to keep things going, and so at the end of the day, I'm excited for Italy. Awesome.
Yeah, that's big. And this is also, exciting for Italy, a big upset win for them. I would say this is bigger news for the U.S. The American side believed they had a good shot against Germany, but Germany was still going to be a very difficult matchup. Kudos to Italy for winning today, but I think that the U.S., I think that Italy is a much easier matchup for the U.S. than Germany was.
Yeah, I think they're gonna be really grateful that Italy won today. I think it's gonna give them a great route to the finals.
Yeah, you're right. It opens up a lot of options. Of course, we'll look at the bracket here in a minute, but here are your results for today. And let's talk about this because this is probably the biggest news of it. You look at that King of the Hill. You look at Faust getting eliminated because of being timed out, and it going down to Game 5. But this is really the story. Italy had to win that 2v2 to win this game, in my opinion, and that's what they did. They came out in set number 1, swept the 2v2, and gave their team the shot. And I think this is more than anything the most important part of this matchup is Mostema and Pasti coming out in the 2v2 and getting it done against Sam and Wolfsdoktor.
Yeah, I think you wonder if it was a huge mistake not putting Morton in with the 2v2 matchup there. But I mean, they played extremely well. Italy played really well, and I think they really did their homework, especially for that last match against Morton. I think they knew exactly what he was going to come out with, and I think they were able to counter it effectively.
Yeah, there you have Morton coming out with in set number 2 with the 2-0 sweep over Ace, and with the way Morton was playing, you felt like trying to beat him would be nearly impossible. But there we go to Game 5 King of the Hill, and a reverse sweep, or sort of a reverse sweep, because Mostema gets a little bit of help from Faust not connecting in time, and Italy steals this one from Germany and moves on into the quarterfinal round. We'll see the bracket in just a minute.
I can assure you the chat is not happy about this.
Yeah. Sorry, chat, but this is not the first time a player has taken a game loss because of not requesting in time, and they get warnings, and here you go. If you think that they were trying to make Germany not go through, I guarantee you're wrong. I'll tell you that much. So here we go. Italy moves on to face the U.S. in the quarterfinal, and the winner of that will take on the winner of China v. Mexico. So a very difficult matchup, no matter who they go against in the semifinals. No matter what, that right-hand side is going to be nuts. On the left-hand side, South Korea, Argentina, Portugal winning today over Turkey, and Colombia. So a lot of predictions maybe going the wrong way in these early matchups. And Italy, congratulations, well played. And again, I'm going to say this one more time. I think that more than anything, you can say the Faust thing was pivotal, and absolutely. But Italy did the most important thing, which was winning the 2v2 and giving themselves a window here against this German side. And a cracked window is all you need sometimes to break in.
Wow, that was an absolute awesome match to watch. I'm glad I was able to watch that. It was so cool.
I'm glad you're able to join me, by the way. So those of you in chat who don't recognize that voice, that's our friend Night Owl, who's a Clash Royale YouTuber. Night Owl, tell them where they can find you on Twitter, on YouTube, whatever it might be.
You know what? I'm on all the socials, obviously, under Night Owl, NYTEOWL. YouTube, I think you guys have all seen me there. Over on everything else. Just, you know what? It's easy to find me.
Yeah, pretty easy to find if you spell Night Owl with a Y instead of an IGHT. NYTE, Night Owl. And you can find him a great dude, and obviously a lot of fun to have you on the cast today. I'm glad this worked out. And any last thoughts on what we saw between Germany and Italy today?
You know what? I just need to buff up against my Hogs. It looks like Hogs are going to be coming in hot this meta, whether it be the Royal Hogs or the Hog Rider. You need to learn how to defend against all types of Hogs. And Earthquake play, man. Solid. Absolutely solid. Love it.
Yeah, we were talking about the Earthquake getting mixed in. Royal Hogs obviously making a bit of a comeback lately, so things work out for Italy. I'm going to go ahead and take a look at the Spanish stream, just see if they're doing an interview right now or something, because waiting to see. Oh, it's just Coach. The look on Koji's face is hilarious right now. So, wow, and Ace struggled in the 1v1 today, but no shame against who he was struggling. And you want to go back to what Morton did in the 1v1, and also I want to go back and revisit Faust's minor Musk Loon play in a matchup where he was up against a lot, including Ewiz and Mega Minion. Brilliant play by the young German. I think Germany is still a fantastic squad. Obviously, some people in the chat not happy with the result of that unplayed Game 3 of King of the Hill, but this is the second time that Italy in this tournament has pulled off a big time upset. So while there might be one game that went a wrong way, I think that it's a little disingenuous to take away from Italy how well they've performed when up against the best of Clash Royale competition.
I think the way that they played was extremely well. No, I mean, there was some technicalities, but to be able to take down Morton that last match, or just to be able to beat those guys consistently, they did really well in that King of the Hill, and they did really well throughout the day. That 2v2 matchup was perfect. I think they're going to compete pretty well even against the USA.
Yeah, and that will be an interesting matchup. You know, we saw a 2v2 victory, and that's the big question. Team USA now has brought back crap, so AC and RF, a long-standing, one of the most experienced 2v2 duos in CRL 3 seasons together. They've been brought back, and they looked really great in their last matchup against Romania. Italy, with some solid 2v2 play today, and we saw them take out Sam and Wolfstalker. That ends up being the big question, so that will be the matchup. 8 teams left in this tournament overall. Night Owl, thank you very much for joining. It's been a lot of fun. I'm Rich Slade, and I'll be out for a few days, so you'll be seeing some other English casters for a little bit, but I'll be back next week. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe to the No Tilt YouTube channel and ring that bell for notifications, and we'll see you back here very soon with 4 amazing quarterfinal matches.
Oh, wow. Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks, Night Owl, and we will see you guys next time.